And your commitment to the process and to the method was always, and your enthusiasm and love towards the work was always so touching for me. That's why I also started crying yesterday, because you started this course in March, I think, like 5 months ago. And I know your struggles from the beginning, but despite the struggles, you stayed in the work. You sent the self-facilitation recording every week to me to get the feedback, to sharpen your skills, to stay on track with your process, to work with your primary repression, your anger and your power repression. And I saw that there was some struggle in the beginning, and it's normal. It happens to everyone. But your commitment and wanting to do the work is so rare and unique that despite all that pain and trauma and everything that came up for you, you stayed in the process and you learned the tools, and you really took my advices and my pointings that I've been giving to you, when you send me those recordings every week, and and I guess it was just so touching yesterday that after 5 months, you again sent the weekly recording to me. Because usually when you send me the self-facilitation recording, I just sense the blind spots. If there is a blind spot regarding the skill, if you don't know what tool to use, or you avoid going into certain area during processing, you know and so then I give you feedback, like there are the blind spots, and I give you some feedback. But yesterday, for the first time after 5 months, I was listening to the audio and I was like, I can't add anything to it. It was perfect. You stayed on track, you inquired into that deficiency, into that unmet need, and you linked it to your primary, to your anger repression. You worked with this barrier of not being able to express the anger. You had the breakthrough with this. You linked it to the fear because you were afraid to express that, because you were afraid that you are going to be rejected or something. So you stayed in the fear energy, you processed the fear, and then you had the shift. And I was listening to the recording and I was like, there are no blind spots. I can't add anything to it. So the end, I started crying. It was just so touching for me also. It was the feeling like, we did it, girl. We did it, you did it, like you stayed in the process, keep learning the tools, keep learning processing, going into the painful stuff, learning to process it, and then having the shift and experiencing the change in on the level of the body, on the level of your relationships, and in all those areas that you also mentioned to me on WhatsApp. And so it was just so touching. That's why I was struggling to record the feedback for you yesterday on WhatsApp, because you asked questions, but I started recording the message and I was like starting saying like, yeah, I can't add anything to it. It was perfect. And when I heard myself saying that, I just started crying because I was so touched by that despite of all the struggles and everything that you faced, the resistances, because you also learned how to work with resistance, and after 5 months, I could just say, like, your self-facilitation is perfect. You learned it, you did it, because we all come from this disempowered state, when we start to learn this work, we face a lot of resistance. It's quite new also to learn to work with resistance towards our thoughts and feelings, and you just became very sharp with this, with your inquiry skills, with your somatic processing skills. So yeah, thank you for that. It's been just such a pleasure for me also to see your change and enthusiasm and actually this self-empowerment that comes up for you through this work. So thank you for that also.
I think it was so touching that you were like crying because I don't know, just your commitment to the work and also like helping me through the process has really been really important for my advancement. I'm really passionate about this work. Like I really want to. I still feel that I have a long way to go. Like I still feel that, but I really want to be freer. Like I want to be freer every day. Beyond like having an agenda to be like free, not really like wanting something to happen or like some big, huge like I don't know enlightenment or realization or whatever. Like just being able to connect with yourself.
Mm,
That didn't have like I didn't have that. I didn't have that in my life
mm. Yeah, me
for
too.
all my life. So
Yeah.
so just being able to connect with ourselves, even if it's difficult, like even
Mm,
if it sometimes it's intense, sitting with our own energies and with our own feelings. I think that that is like the biggest gift like in ki that I find
mm,
that beyond making the unconscious conscious with his, which I feel that that is really freeing for me. The sole fact that this work can bring up anger that was there but was unconscious, that for me is like mind blowing. Because I tried before, I've been in the like self-help, spirituality, or like things like with yoga or qigong or for years, trying to punch the pillow to feel your anger. Or and I feel that this way is really more mind blowing and powerful to really like be able to meet ourselves. For me, it has been really like humbling and also like really to see that like all the intensity that I saw like out there, it was like it was me all of this time, like just being aware of like it's all me, like it's all me, like it's all me, but it was unconscious. Before I always just used to be like really passive aggressive or not realizing how much anger and hatred I had because I was like, oh, I'm a good girl, like I'm not angry at all at anyone, I don't have anger. And then like realizing, whoa, like this is I have like so much anger that it could like before I used to like look down on people that couldn't control their anger, or look down on people that were like, yeah, just very like instinctual or very aggressive, not knowing that I had so much pent up and hidden aggression in myself. And it just feels good to say it like here in this group because it's like coming out of the closet of aggression and of before I just felt like just overwhelmed and not like just craziness and not knowing anything or why I'm feeling this, or it's like I have that fear of that tension or of that conflict in relationship. And it's so like it's so nervous system, it's so primal, it reacts the same like you know 30 years later or something. Yeah, I can see how it comes from just terror from childhood, and now like having the tools to start like making it conscious. I think that's like super it really interests me, and like it really I think it's super interesting and fascinating and and loving. For me, I would say that's the word love. Like that's what has felt more like love, to really be able to attend myself. And I feel it's hard because you know um I've been so accustomed to not loving myself, like not doing that, not connecting with my emotions, not attending my energies, impulses, or emotions. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's difficult, but it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Yeah.